José Pepe Mujica, Biography of the former President of Uruguay. José Alberto Mujica Cordana was born on May 20, 1935, in Montevideo, Uruguay. The son of Demetrio Mujica Terra and Lucy Cordano Girello. On his father's side, he descended from Basques who arrived in Uruguay in 1842, originally from the Viscayan town of Mujica. This lineage connected him to notable Uruguayan political figures, such as President Gabriel Terra. In the 1960s, Mujica joined the Tupamaro's National Liberation Movement, a left-wing guerrilla organization operating in Uruguay. As a consequence of his militancy, he was captured and imprisoned during the Uruguayan civic-military dictatorship, remaining in prison between 1972 and 1985. During his time in prison, Mujica was subjected to extremely harsh conditions. Along with other Tupamaro leaders, he was one of the so-called hostages of the dictatorship, kept in isolation and in inhumane conditions. This experience was later portrayed in the film A 12-Year Night, 2018, directed by Álvaro Brechner. After the restoration of democracy in Uruguay and his release in 1985, Mujica joined formal politics as a member of the Broad Front, a coalition of left-wing parties. His political career included various positions: congressman, elected in 1989, senator for several terms, Minister of Livestock, Agriculture and Fisheries, 2005 to 2008, during Tavera Vasquez's government. The culmination of his political career came when he was elected President of Uruguay, a position he held from March 1, 2010 to March 1, 2015. During his presidential term, Mujica implemented several progressive policies that attracted international attention: legalization of marijuana, decriminalization of abortion, approval of same-sex marriage. However, beyond his policies, Mujica captured global attention for his austere and simple lifestyle, which contrasted radically with the typical image of a head of state. He was widely known as the world's poorest president because he donated approximately 87% of his presidential salary to charitable organizations and social programs. He continued to live in his modest farm on the outskirts of Montevideo. He traveled in a 1987 Volkswagen Beetle. He rejected protocol and presidential formalities. These characteristics earned him worldwide admiration and turned him into a symbol of austere politics close to the people. Since 2005, Mujica had been married to Lucia Topolansky, also a former Tupamaro guerrilla and an important political figure, who served as vice president of Uruguay from 2017 to 2020. The couple had been in a romantic relationship since 1972. Mujica lived on a small farm in Rincon del Cerro with his wife, Lucia Topolansky, on the outskirts of Montevideo, where he dedicated himself to agriculture. The image of Mujica working the land and living simply has become a symbol of his values. On October 20, 2020, at the age of 85, Mujica formalized his resignation from the Senate and announced his retirement from active politics, citing the COVID-19 pandemic and his advanced age as reasons. Nevertheless, he continued to be an influential voice in Uruguayan and Latin American politics, supporting figures such as Yamanda Orsi, who was elected President of Uruguay in 2024 and took office on March 1, 2025. In April 2024, Mujica announced that he had been diagnosed with esophageal cancer. He underwent 32 sessions of radiotherapy and different medical procedures, including the placement of a stent and a gastrostomy due to feeding difficulties. In January 2025, in an interview with the Uruguayan weekly Búsqueda, Mujica revealed that his cancer had spread to his liver and that he would not undergo further treatments due to his advanced age and other chronic diseases he suffered from. In his own words, "The cancer in my esophagus is colonizing my liver. I can't stop it with anything." José Pepe Mujica passed away on May 13, 2025, at the age of 89, close to turning 90. His death was confirmed by the Uruguayan president, Yamanda Orsi, who expressed, "We will miss you very much, dear old man. Thank you for everything you gave us and for your deep love for your people." The Uruguayan government decreed national mourning until May 16 and suspended the General Assembly in the Legislative Palace. Following the protocol for former presidents, his body will be laid in state for 24 hours in the Hall of Lost Steps of the Legislative Palace, with public access for citizens to pay their last respects. The funeral procession will depart on Wednesday, May 14th, at 10 a.m. from the Executive Tower, traveling along 18 de Julio Avenue and passing by symbolic places of his political trajectory: the MLN headquarters on Tristan Narvaja Street, the MPP headquarters, his political sector, on Mercedes Street, and the main headquarters of the Broad Front, before arriving at the Legislative Palace at 12 o'clock noon. According to his wishes, Mujica will be cremated at the Martinelli Funeral Home after the wake, and his ashes will be placed on his farm, next to the place where he buried his beloved dog Manuela, whom he loved so much and accompanied for years. Legacy and thought. Mujica is internationally recognized for his direct and simple style, as well as for his philosophy of life oriented toward austerity and valuing the essential. His speeches at international forums, where he questioned consumerism and the current development model, have resonated globally. Some of his most famous quotes reflect his thinking. Being free is spending the greatest amount of time in our life doing what we like to do. I don't call sobriety and austerity poverty. I call it wealth, having time to do what one likes. We politicians must understand that we are employees, not bosses. The only addict I know who can be cured is the power addict, because they are cured when they lose power. Mujica has become a symbol of political integrity and a humanistic approach to leadership, inspiring people of different generations and political contexts around the world.